Hey everyone, Adam Machan here, singer, songwriter, and vocal coach. And today we're going to go through 5 steps to effectively destroy your voice.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
Now I know the title and the intro are a little tongue-in-cheek. You're not actually here to learn how to destroy your voice. You want to learn exactly what you need to do to not destroy your voice. My top number one thing that I see with a lot of students, especially as they start to get nervous, is throat clearing. So clearing your throat can be one of the quickest ways to destroy your voice. As you clear your throat over and over throughout the day, you are abrasively grinding and smashing together those vocal cords. The vocal cords are the thing that's actually vibrating while we're singing. We want to try to keep them as healthy as possible. So if you want to destroy your voice really quickly, start clearing your throat all day long. Now it's important to note that a lot of people don't even realize that they habitually clear their throat. So that means that there's not actually something on their throat, but they clear their throat because of habitual conditioning that's happened over time. In this case, what you need to do is just become aware of when you are clearing your throat. For these people, they're not even conscious when they're actually clearing their throat. So they'll go to speak and go, so what I was saying is, and they're constantly clearing their throat in that way, that is going to hurt the voice over time. If you don't want to do a crazy amount of damage to your voice, try to become conscious and aware of when you're clearing your throat and get yourself to stop clearing your throat as much. Step number 2 that you could take to totally destroy your voice is stop drinking water. So if you're drinking pop, alcohol, and juice all day long, number 1, it's not very healthy and you're drinking most of your calories, but also you're robbing your voice of the necessary hydration that it needs to continue vibrating at the rate that it does. When we're singing an A4, our vocal cords are vibrating at a rate of 440 times per second. That is a lot of vibration that needs to happen. So just like a well-oiled machine that needs to run very quickly, our voice needs that oil, that lubricant, to be able to run efficiently. Water is that lubricant that gets it running very effectively. Now, water does not directly touch the vocal cords at all. So when we drink water, none of that water is actually touching my vocal cords as it goes down. Yes, it is going through the upper part of my throat, but when it comes close to the vocal cords, we have something called the epiglottis that closes over the vocal cords so that they're not touched by it at all. So wait, Adam, how are they being lubricated by this water that I'm ingesting? Well, the body digests and incorporates this water that we drink through our system, and eventually, after about 20 minutes, it gets dispersed throughout the entire body as a system, and the vocal cords are one of those. This is one of the reasons why drinking olive oil, raw eggs, and honey as a way to remedy voice problems is foolhardy, because none of that lubrication is actually touching the vocal cords. It's only coating the throat. So if it's a throat-related issue, then yes, you could potentially get some benefit from some honey, but you're not actually affecting the vocal cords. If you want to sing with more confidence and power, then you have to sign up for my lesson subscription. You get 2 group lessons with me personally every single week. You get access to all my courses, and you get access to recordings of all my one-on-one lessons with my students. That will help you learn vicariously through them. Click the link down below to sign up now. Step number 3 that you can take to totally destroy your voice is use your voice way too much. So a lot of singers don't even realize that the voice has an upper limit of how much use it can take within a day before it starts to fatigue. I want you to start looking at singing like exercising. Most people are not going to exercise for 5 to 6 hours in a day. Therefore, you shouldn't be singing for 5 to 6 hours in a day. It's a very good way to wear out your voice over time if it's done day in and day out. Coupled with this, what you could do to destroy your voice even faster is to sing beyond your current capabilities, so higher up than you currently can for long periods of time. That's really going to destroy the voice very, very quickly. So again, all of this is tongue-in-cheek, but if you want to try to avoid these problems in your voice, you could try to limit your singing and vocalizing overall voice use to about 2 hours a day, and you can try to sing more within your current range of capabilities. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to feel limited in how high you can sing, but you want to try to gently and slowly work on increasing your range and flexibility of the voice. The fourth way to utterly destroy your voice in a very, very short time is to sing while you're sick. Now, there are different types of sicknesses out there. You've got, more congestion up in the sinuses, you've got inflammation in the throat, you've got inflammation more in the back of the throat. You've got all these different places where the locale of that infection could be. But overall, as a general rule of thumb, if you don't need to sing while you're sick, don't do it. Because when we're sick, everything in our upper respiratory system starts to swell up. And when it all swells up, that includes the vocal cords. When the vocal cords are swelling, they're not going to close properly. And when they don't close properly, you're going to try to make them close properly because you want them to do what they normally do. And so when you do that, that's going to cause a chain effect where you're going to have to push a little bit more so that they close a little bit better. But then as they start to press together harder and harder, they're going to swell up even more to protect themselves, which is going to make them harder to close until you get to the point where your voice is like this. That is what we want to try to avoid. Take it from somebody who has had tremendous voice issues because I one time pushed it with laryngitis, trying to sing through that laryngitis. Now, while I'm saying this, I was being paid for the gig that I was doing. And so I wanted to get my paycheck at the end of the day. But I could tell you it wasn't worth the 2 years of recovery that it took to be able to overcome that issue that was caused then. I did not know at that time how much trouble a little bit, even one day of pushing through that laryngitis would cause on my voice, to the point where it started to create a polyp on my vocal cords. And we can get those nodules, polyps, and granulomas, even hemorrhages on the vocal cords that are as a result of trying to sing through sickness. So if you want to destroy your voice in one of the fastest ways possible, sing while you're sick. And the fifth way to destroy your voice as quickly as possible is to leave voice-related issues untreated. What I mean by that is through time I've realized that there are specific things that affect singers. And there are things that we have come up with to be able to treat and reduce the symptomology of these things. So these include acid reflux, allergies, and overall sickness. Now we kind of covered overall sickness in the previous one. So we're going to focus on acid reflux and allergies. So one thing that a lot of people don't realize with acid reflux is that you don't need to have the symptoms of feeling acid come up your throat and burning sensation here, what we call heartburn. You don't need to feel that to actually have acid reflux wreaking havoc on your vocal cords. There are conditions wherein people don't feel any symptoms here in the throat, but what they'll have is when they wake up in the morning, it'll take them 2 hours, an hour and a half to get their voice to work and operate in the morning. And the problem is they think that that's normal. They think that it's morning voice and, oh, well, I just have really bad morning voice, so this is just part of my norm. That's not normal. The voice should take a maximum of a half an hour to warm up in the morning, and then you should have a voice that's ready to go. If it is taking you an hour to an hour and a half to warm up your voice and it's still not up to snuff, it's a very good sign that you've got some acid reflux wreaking havoc while you're horizontal all night long. Now, the thing is, you don't need to suffer with this. There are medications and things that you could do. Speak to your doctor about possible acid reflux medications that could reduce that type of symptomology, because leaving that untreated is one of the best ways to totally destroy your voice and potentially even get esophageal cancer or throat cancer. So to avoid those issues from happening, you really need to get on it and start treating those problems. And with allergies, a lot of people get a lot of congestion, myself included. I've got a lot of congestion, especially right now in the springtime, where there are tons of allergens that are affecting us and making everything swell. So it's important to try to treat them. Try to use allergy medication, nose sprays, these types of things. Obviously, everything with the knowledge and guidance from a medical professional, because I am not one. But it is something that needs to be taken over to a medical professional to be treated. So if you guys like this video, please click on that one, because you're going to like it too.